If there's one thing you can't miss in F1 these days, it's the podium ceremony. And when Daniel Ricciardo is on the list, you know it's going to be hilarious. But it's not always just Ricciardo who brings the fun. Sometimes the podium gets its dose of laughter from unexpected happenings or awkward moments. Here are some of the funniest podium moments. First up, we have our most recent trophy smashing ceremony after the Hungarian GP. So, Max Verstappen totally nailed it at the Hungarian GP, leaving Hamilton eating the dust and grabbing that winner's trophy with style. But hold up, the real drama happened during the podium celebration. Max was standing tall on the top step, trophy in hand, feeling like a champ. On his right, there's our cheeky guy Lando Norris, ready to make some mischief. You know Lando's got a unique way of popping those champagne bottles, right? Well, he did it again, like the champagne warrior he is. But guess what? This time things got way out of hand, literally. His bottle bashing skills sent Max's trophy flying off the podium, and there it goes, in pieces. The look on Lando's face was priceless. Like, oops, my bad. Don't worry though, the bubbly kept flowing and the party didn't stop. Norris kept glancing back at the broken trophy, probably wondering if he should add accidental trophy breaker to his list of achievements. Verstappen wasn't too sad over the broken trophy though. If you thought this was funny, this next one's an even more hilarious moment. Mark Webber's slip on the podium at the 2013 Brazilian GP. You should probably try to maintain your balance in front of an audience that big. Now, if only someone had told Webber that. In his last F1 race at the Brazilian Grand Prix, Webber showed no signs of holding back. After finishing a commendable second, Webber let loose during the slowdown lap, driving without his helmet. Once on the podium, he was in full celebration mode. While joyfully spraying champagne, his excitement got the better of him, and he accidentally slipped, creating an amusing and unforgettable moment. This next moment's hilarious though. During his Ferrari days, Sebastian Vettel's podium dances were one of those things you looked forward to after a race. You never knew what dance he'd pull off next. The Carlton dance, the moonwalk, or maybe even some secret move he invented on the spot. Fast forward to the 2017 F1 Australian GP. Seb was on fire. Winning races was just another day at the office for him, but the real show was on the podium. And boy, did Seb deliver. With a grin from ear to ear, he launched into his celebratory dance routine that could rival the hottest dance floor moves. There's Seb, spinning, twirling, and shaking it off with pure joy. Some podium celebrations are very much on purpose. Others are a little accidental. It looks like Esteban Ocon got a little carried away after ending up on the podium at the 2023 Monaco Grand Prix. He shakes hands with everyone in the video and, on his way back down, decides to celebrate a little too early by knocking a bottle of champagne over. Thankfully, Verstappen's there to save the bubbly before it spills too much. Yikes! What makes this rescue even funnier is the past tension between the two drivers. Who can forget the time Verstappen shoved Ocon after the 2018 Brazilian GP? Verstappen was in the lead and on his way to winning the race, until he crashed into Ocon at turn 2, who was trying to unlap himself. With the way he helped out though, it doesn't look like there was any hard feelings left. Some moments are funny, but others are just straight up cringy. Who can forget the embarrassing Nelson Piquet interview at the 2014 Brazilian GP? While podium interviews are meant to add a touch of interaction and humour, they can sometimes go in a strange direction. The 2014 Brazilian Grand Prix podium interview is a prime example. Nelson Piquet, a three-time world champion, took on the role of interviewer that day. Unfortunately, he had a few drinks before taking the microphone. When it was Lewis Hamilton's turn, Piquet couldn't resist flirting with Lewis's girlfriend. It turned out to be one of the most awkward yet hilariously memorable moments in podium history. Remember how we mentioned Ricciardo earlier? His shoey tradition never fails to make us laugh on the podium. Daniel Ricciardo introduced the shoey to F1, where he celebrates victories by drinking champagne from his race-worn shoe. Yikes, that's gotta be nasty. The shoey became a fan favourite tradition, and Ricciardo often got fellow podium finishers involved. After winning the 2016 Malaysian Grand Prix, he made everyone on the podium join in the shoey, including the team principal, Christian Horner, and even a very reluctant Nico Rosberg. Don't worry, Nico, we get why you wouldn't want to do that. Sometimes a race ends up being such a mess that the podium celebration is automatically hilarious. Thiago Monteiro's unexpected celebration at the 2005 Indianapolis GP. The 2005 Indianapolis Grand Prix was marred by a 6-car race, and the sport was embarrassed by the situation. However, for Tiago Monteiro, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. Despite the unusual circumstances, Monteiro secured a podium finish almost by default. Undeterred by the chaotic race, he celebrated with unbridled joy, behaving as if he had just won the championship, adding a touch of humor to an otherwise dismal race. Fernando Alonso is known for his serious and focused demeanor on the track. But boy did he let loose that day. As soon as he stepped onto the podium at Italy in 2012, he had a surprise in store for everyone. Instead of the usual champagne spraying, Alonso grabbed the camera from the cameraman and started recording the audience instead. He was beaming from ear to ear the whole time. The champagne ceremony is always chaotic, and the one at the 1986 Brazilian GP was even more so. Following the 1986 Brazilian Grand Prix, the drivers encountered a champagne problem during the podium ceremony. Usually the bottles are pre-opened, but this time they had to manage it themselves. Ayrton Senna, Jacques Laffite and Nelson Piquet struggled to open their bottles, creating a comical scene as they fumbled with the corks, before finally spraying champagne, leaving everyone laughing. Then there's this next, even more chaotic and confused celebration. Elio De Angelis' confused celebration at the 1982 Monaco GP. The finish of the 1982 Monaco Grand Prix was chaotic, and the order of the podium finishers was uncertain. Elio De Angelis was mistakenly informed that he finished on the podium. As a result, he awkwardly found himself celebrating alongside winner Riccardo Patrese in the royalty box. The actual podium finishers, Didier Pironi and Andrea de Cesaris, eventually arrived, leaving De Angelis bewildered, making it a memorable moment of confusion. Now that's gotta be embarrassing. During the 2016 Australian Grand Prix, Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel's post-race banter showed their rekindled friendship, putting to rest any lingering animosity from their past rivalry. As Webber took the stage for the podium interviews, Vettel, securing third place, was in high spirits. Jokingly, Webber quipped about not being up there for a while, and Vettel, ever mischievous, offered him a glass of champagne. Webber humorously declined, citing his tendency to get tipsy quickly. They shared laughs and inside jokes, reminiscing about their history together. Vettel playfully teased Webber about his singing antics from the past. In a heartfelt moment, Vettel expressed how he missed having Webber as his teammate, solidifying their renewed camaraderie. To cap off their banter, Vettel poured champagne over Webber's head. It was hilarious because Webber didn't see it coming at all. He was too busy looking ahead. The announcer had some spilled on him too. The next podium champagne celebration tops the list because of how unexpected it was. Kimi Raikkonen got ready to spray champagne at the 2017 Mexican Grand Prix. Now, you know Kimi's got a bit of a reputation for enjoying a drink or two. He's probably tasted one bottle too many along the way. But hey, it's all part of the fun, right? This podium celebration came with a bit of a surprise at the end after the top three sprayed the champagne. Instead of the three champions walking away like usual, the podium spun around to reveal a DJ at the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. It looks like Kimi was not impressed. So, from drinking the champagne out of your racing shoes to awkwardly flirting with the winning driver's girlfriend, these were the funniest podium moments in F1 history. And if you want to see more videos like these, make sure to like and subscribe to The Grid Report, where we bring you the latest F1 updates.